Hey,
Well, see, there I am. You
ah,
got this. You got this.
I was like, I'm technology illiterate.
We gotta
Okay.
stick to what we know because I've done this thing, on Instagram a couple times, but I've never done it on Facebook, and that's why Facebook ain't shit. I mean, excuse my language, but
No,
I
how are you?
got a body mouth. I'm doing good. I'm living. I just ate dinner. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing as good as I can be in a time of this just everything that's going on in the world.
I'm like, what is going on? I was like, get my boyfriend to help me. I'm like, do you know how to do this? He's like, I don't go on Facebook. I'm like,
I don't blame him because it's like, oh, he probably opened it for the first time in a long time and was probably like, see, this is why I don't open
he doesn't use it like at all. Because I wish like I didn't.
because that's how I am. Like I think I spent like the whole morning doing stuff that didn't involve me being like on the phone, and I was like, I'm not gonna get on Facebook today. I'm not gonna get on social media. I'm not gonna turn on the TV. I'm not gonna watch the news. So a couple of hours went by, and I was like, let me turn on the TVs. I turn on the TV, and the headline is just like stuff burning.
Mm,
People are angry, and if it's not coronavirus, it's something else. And I just turned the TV back off.
yeah, it's too heavy. I don't really like look at it either.
Yeah, yeah. You just go from that to calm. You get off of it, it's like, all right, this is my world. This is what's going on with me. You get back on it, you get on social media. It's just so much. It's so much at once.
Yeah, it's too much. I'm like, that's why I'm in therapy now because of y'all.
Ain't no shame in that. It's no shame in it.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and start the interview?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I don't know why. I'm not even in front of nobody. It's just me and my,
Honestly, we're just having a conversation. That's how I see
yeah.
it.
I went one funny thing when I was on Facebook Live, my mom joined, and then I get a text like 2 seconds later. I see you. I'm like, yes, mom, I can read.
Well, don't be surprised if you see like or hear my child in the background or somebody come in the house, whatever. There's like 7 people that live here, so
Okay. Yeah. So it's gonna be episode.
but I will introduce myself. I'm Karene. Might know me as Rostamah, like my name right there. And I live in PG County, Laurel. Laurel has like 3 counties, but I'm on the PG side. And right now, I'm actually starting up a business of my own called Rostamah's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And I do basically homemade products and services.
Mhm.
Currently I've been doing like dinner plates and I do Caribbean meals. So we did jerk chicken, curry chicken. I also make up my own recipes. So I've been doing that, just to make some bread. But I also play around with like my own creative side and I just kind of put together what works for me. And
Mhm.
I've been using like different stuff in my hair, my skin, and people are like, "Oh, it looks good. What do you use?"
Mhm.
I like make it myself. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna add to my menu and I'm gonna start doing products.
I'm,
So I mean, that's what I've been up to, and like I have my logo design here. Just like a sample one, but I'm gonna get some other stickers and labels made, and I'll be launching it sometime in June. I'm
okay.
excited about
So
that.
tell people where they can follow that page and how they can support you.
Yeah, and again, this is the logo.
Okay.
Shout out to the dude from Sri Lanka that made this for me, cause you made me look pretty. And you can follow my business page is at Rastamaz, R spell Rasta and Maz, and there's no apostrophe or anything like that. So Rastamaz Kitchen. Just follow me on IG. I also made a Twitter. There's no content on it right now. I made a Facebook page also, but that's where you can stay updated with the latest.
That's good. Okay. So I want to talk about, do you have any challenges or barriers when it comes to your mental health? If so, do you feel comfortable identifying those and how do you work through those mental hoops?
Well, first of all, who doesn't? Who doesn't have like an issue with their mental health? I know the fuck I do.
Mm.
I know I do. But for me personally, I think one thing that I've learned about myself recently is that I have really bad anxiety when it comes to like jobs,
Yeah.
like corporate jobs where it's like this is your set schedule. There's not a lot of changes. Like those types of jobs give me anxiety and Like, I recently quit my job, and it was a position that I just obtained in the beginning of January, around January. And I really loved the position. It was a PR marketing position. I was like, oh my God, I'm finally going to do something that I went to school for, woo, 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 my career. And it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And then this pandemic happened, and it was more so like, okay, I'm going to stick this shit out and see if it gets better from here. But the pandemic happened, and of course I fell into this like anxiety of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't work, like, there's no money coming in. What am I going to do? And of course, me, I'm a hustler, so I always got money coming in. But regardless, you think like, oh my God, like, what is the plan? We didn't have a plan for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, like, those types of jobs, just for me personally, it doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't make me happy. Over time, I just get stuck in this robotic mode, and I know that there's more to life than that. So for me personally, that causes me anxiety. And of course, I deal with depression just like anybody else. It may not be as severe as others, because I know some people that go through severe depression. And with depression, you can't help that. It's not like an on and off switch, it
Nope.
just happens. And I always describe depression to be like ocean waves.
Oh, I did
Anyone,
thing.
yeah, yeah. And anyone that knows me knows I love the water. I'm Ariel. Look at me. But
I
like, I feel like that's like, when it comes to depression, it's like waves. It comes and goes, and when it hits you, it hits you hard, and sometimes you can't get out of it. But that's where mentally you have to figure out, okay, what is it that I need to do so I'm not stuck here. So for me personally, the way I get through my anxiety, my depression, I do things that make me happy. Everything that I do, everything I say, how I move, like, it's gonna be doing something that I like doing. And if you follow me, lately I've been doing my Zumba, I've been
yeah,
working
I saw you.
out, I've been trying to do like better, you know what I mean? And if it wasn't for this pandemic, I wouldn't have gotten that headspace to really figure out, okay, what makes you happy? Like, what is it that you're going to do that makes you happy, that can make you money, something that you can prosper and be successful, just feel like you accomplished something. For
Mm-hmm.
me personally, it was like, I need to be working for myself. I need to be my own boss. And I love creating. Like, from just learning how to do things on my own. And of course, I love writing, music, things like that, everything. But at this given moment, I had to think, what's going to make me money and what's going to make me happy.
Mm-hmm. That's a good answer. I agree because I like try to explain to my boyfriend like I will literally not because my stomach is twisting and having to go do fitting and then like having to be degraded and like isolated on top of that. Like it feels like I'm like someone's choking me or something. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
like I don't enjoy what I'm doing, but I have to pay the bills. We just moved in together like months ago, and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to burden him by not working, but I'm like my mental health is more important than a dollar, Like I'm like,
Yeah.
and he doesn't understand. Like I quit like 2 or 3 jobs in like 6 months. I barely talk about it, only like off the air. Like I'll text my friends, him, our parents, but usually I don't talk about it online. I don't even really. It's just hard because you're internalizing, and then you're like taking it home, and then you have a tendency to take it out
Mm-hmm.
whoever you live with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does.
Like me as a mom, I can relate to that. Just going based off of what you just said, you
Mhm.
bring it home.
Yeah.
And when I first had my daughter, like, I had this other job, and I ended up leaving them because I was coming home in a bad mood, and she's a
Yep.
newborn. And I would catch myself like having an attitude with her, and it's like, she didn't do nothing. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing as a baby. But I'm so irritable. I'm so like tired. I don't even have the strength to play with my own baby.
Mhm.
Like, it's serious though. It's serious.
Yeah, it's sad. Okay, we're gonna go on to. You kind of answered the other question I had asked you about self care. You already said it.
Yeah.
You told me that you have a degree in communications and media journalism, and that you're currently pursuing your BA in community business admin. What made you pick those majors, and what are some challenges you faced while you were pursuing higher education?
Now, what made me pick that major? Well, I definitely had to do some figuring out before I selected that back in, dang, I graduated from high school 2011. So I went to Howard HCC, Howard Community College, that fall. So around that time, I was more so like, okay, I know that I like entertainment. I know I like music. I like helping others. So promoting, marketing. So I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know exactly like the name of it. Like exactly like, oh, this is going to be my job title. But I knew like the areas. So just of course talking to an advisor, they were able to steer me in that direction, and they said, oh well, you would fit very well under communications and media journalism. So that's where I got that degree from, and finished out by 2015, and then I moved on to it's now UMGC, University of Maryland Global Campus,
Yeah.
but before it was UMUC. But I chose that school because I was never the type to be like, oh, I'm gonna go to a big campus and share a dorm. That just wasn't that's not really what I wanted to do personally. I just wanted to go to work, make my money, get my degree, whatever. So I ended up going to UMGC because they offered $12,000 to any student that was transferring from a community college.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a free $12,000 basically for me to go to school. So I took it. I said, all right, can do that. Mostly online. It was cool. But now I'm just pursuing that. Of course, I took a break when I had my daughter. And it's challenging. That's another thing. Even school, like in mental health, that's another area. But I really have to brace myself and just remember that, try your best. You don't let anything stress you out. If you know you can't get this assignment done because of whatever reason, do it when you can do it. I've learned that too with college. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of professors will work with you. Like if you just having a bad week or whatever, and you have an assignment due that Friday, but on a Thursday a whole bunch of stuff happened to you, and you just not ready to turn this paper in on a Friday. Instead of like stressing over it and beating yourself up, email and communicate with your professor. Hey, can I turn in this? I've learned things like that just throughout my college experience. But yeah, as far as those majors, I selected those mainly because they fit the category of what I want to do in life. I know I talk a lot.
No, I'm saying, I'm like, this is I'm like, wow, someone is just as like bubbly as I am, because my boyfriend's probably like, you talk, stop.
Oh, my boyfriend knows me. Like anybody that knows me and Jay, they know how we are, bruh. Like, they already know.
Yeah. So the next question I have for you, can you list some ways that motherhood has made you go harder?
Oh yes. And everything that I do is for Marley. I'm that mother. Literally everything. I mean, starting from me getting up in the morning and having a purpose. Before I had a daughter, I could sleep until 2, 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Step out the crib about 7 p.m. You out all night into the next. When you have a baby, a mother that cares, can't do that no more. You have to change up your routine. You have to change up your lifestyle. And of course, with having a child, I did that. I was like, I gotta make some changes, and the changes I were making were good for me. It's not hurting me. So that's why like I started working out more. That's part of my daily routine, and I just have a schedule, like, and it revolves around Marley. And other ways, definitely it makes you move different when it comes to like maybe drama and things that's going to test you. Just the other day, like, it's a long story, but long story short, she was upset and she started calling me out my name and stuff. The old me would have probably like wanted to fight back, but the new me was more so like, God bless you, walk away. And that's exactly what I told her. I literally looked at her as she's like yelling all these like cuss words, calling me the B word, cunt. I looked at her and said, God bless you, because I thought of my daughter. I said, if I fight this lady, first of all, the courthouses are closed. So, but besides all that, like, if I do anything, how's that gonna affect my daughter? If I get locked up right now, how is that gonna affect her? So even the way I move around certain situations, I think about her first. And you could probably hear her.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh.
Oh, where's your pants? It's cool. There's like a little play area in here.
Oh.
But speaking of how she's changed my life, Like even me doing this right now, this is me relaxing.
Mm,
Like I don't even care for like big clubs and stuff
mhm.
like that anymore. I just anything that involves my child, I'm for it.
So you're like a good mother. Mother. Y'all say that. Yeah, I feel like you get older, you have to slow down, and you like, I just appreciate the simple things. I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna go party, I'm gonna go club, and like now I'm like, I'm bored. Can I go home? Like, can I?
Yeah, you be like, I'm tired. You start yawning and stuff. You take like
Yeah,
now I take like a nice drink, like a nice cocktail, and I'm tired.
yeah, that's me. I go to bed early now. I out late, like how you said. Now I'm just like,
Yeah.
can I cuddle with Bay on the couch? Like,
Right. Right.
is she coming over there?
Oh, she's doing her. Marley is grown. I try to tell people she is grown. She doesn't like to be helped with anything. She's very peculiar about stuff.
What's zodiac sign?
She's an Aries.
Oh, snap.
You see the sun?
She's so cute.
And she's not an indoors baby.
Oh,
This
uh,
Ooh, I have to get creative during this time because the fact that I can't like take her anywhere like for kids,
mhm.
that sucks. That sucks.
Mm. So, I have another question for you. So, your partner is an artist as well. We're not gonna them, but I know who they are. Do you
Yeah.
guys off of one another or critique one another? And how has they influenced art and who creates more if you are ever noticing stuff like that?
Okay. The last part got cut off. Can you say the last part one more time?
I said, do you guys critique one another or bounce ideas off of one another? And how have they influenced your art and who creates more?
Ooh. Well, first of all, let me just say with Jay, Sofa King J, I think there's an underscore in between the King and the J. But he is actually like, and I can be very picky, especially as a Virgo, but literally, like, his talent is just it's just ridiculous. I think what attracted me, not what attracted me to him, but what attracted me to his art was the fact that he could freestyle so well. Because I mean, there's artists out here, of course, that are great artists, but not everybody can freestyle. And I really, really, really like that about him. I was like, okay, he freestyles, he doesn't write his stuff because like around high school I was playing around with freestyling, so I just thought that was really dope. And I really liked his music. I liked his wordplay, his grammar, and things like that. He actually played with all of those things. So those things attracted me to him.
Mhm.
But as far as critiquing each other, we definitely have our sit downs where when we're just talking about like business, and we have our sit downs where like he'll probably play something that he's working on, and I don't. The way I critique with him is I kind of ask him like, "Oh, what did you mean? If you say this bar, or how did you come up with this beat or something?" If he's producing a song, and then I let him explain it to me.
Mhm.
So instead of me like maybe making an assumption or saying, "Oh, I might not like this part," but with music, it's not even like that. When I listen to music, I want to know why. Like, oh, how did you come up with this?
Mhm.
Or what feeling were you trying to get others to feel when you did this? So we have like those deep talks when it comes to that. But with me being a newer artist in the scene, he definitely gives me tips and pointers, and I learn a lot from him because he's been doing it for a while. And also my other friends that are artists that are in the scene. Shout out to Three Side. But I learn from everybody else around me, and it's really inspiring when you see your friends doing big things. Like you see they got featured on Netflix or they're doing a show here. It's really inspiring, and I love to see people that I grew up with, people that I know personally, doing great.
My thing froze. Was like, more people are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. You think that he creates more, or you create more? What?
I think when it comes to the music, he's been more. He has more of a catalog than I do.
That's okay.
um, because I mean, lately you kind of slow down a little bit when you have kids, but also that's an excuse, I feel, because I've done a lot of things while having a baby, but because of circumstances, we have to make time for our music.
Right.
Like, we had a studio set up and everything, but we had to downsize. We had to move, and when we moved and stuff, we didn't have space to put our recording equipment. So it's really hard for me I can write my music, but when it comes to record and stuff, I have to reach out to an engineer, find a time to do it. And of course, with the coronavirus, everyone's social distancing.
Yeah.
So I've been, of course, making a plan so that I can make the music, but got to get a new laptop. So, there's things in the works. But as far as like him having, like, he has more of a catalog than I do.
Yeah.
But as far as just putting in the work, we both encourage each other. If I'm slacking, he's like, babe, it's been a minute since you did this. You should do this. And I'm the same way with him. Like, oh, you haven't done this, or how are you doing with this? When do you plan on releasing that? That's kind of how we communicate when it comes to that.
That's good. Yeah, it doesn't take away from you if you're not creating as much, like you're newer, like you're still making content.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't let go of stuff. Like I hold on to our
Hi. You're being such a good girl. Normally she's like, she would be fighting for my attention. She's being such a good girl.
Okay, let's go on to a different question. So, what kind of doors do you want to open for yourself, your daughter, and other female creators like you?
I want to definitely open the door of just everyone knowing themselves and being themselves. I want people to be comfortable being them, and just because somebody might call it weird or might call you different, I just want people to have the strength, and females to just have the strength to uplift each other and not be a hater.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of that goes on, a lot of contradicting. And I think people, in order for people to be comfortable in their own skin, other people need to accept that as well. So I definitely, if I'm, when I do make my music, I want my music to be healing, but I want it to be something that you can let marinate with you and you can go back and listen to and find something different each and every time. But I want to spread goodness. Everything that I'm doing, I want it to be for good. I don't want to have any ill intentions. And like when it comes to me dealing with other people, I try not to have no beef with nobody. But if I feel like we're not vibing, or if I feel like you aren't being 100% genuine, I tend to kind of fall back. And that's just how I move.
When did you decide to live for yourself instead of others?
What do I decide? Say that again.
When did you decide to live for yourself instead of others?
Oh, when did I decide that? Ooh, that's a good question. Now that I'm 26, I probably came up with that quote personally that I live by. I came up with that around the time that I had, it was a breakup that I had. And that breakup kind of pushed me into, womanhood in a way. It was kind of like that transition period where, okay, you graduate from high school, you're on your own, you make a move on your own, you think you're grown, you're trying to play that role basically, but you're not quite there yet. And so I went through a really hard breakup, and I definitely took a lot of time to reflect and figure things out, even what life means and just a lot of things that come with being an adult and trying to deal with a relationship and heartbreak and things that change you. So in doing all that, let me get back on topic. What was the question again?
The question, when did you decide to live for yourself instead of others?
Right. So just from coming out of that experience, I think it made me realize, don't do things because it makes somebody else happy. You need to live for yourself. Do things that make you happy so that you can stay in that happy state of mind. Of course, every day of your life isn't going to be peaches and cream, but when you get into that funk, you got to know how to pull yourself out of it, because around that time, I was in a funk. Okay, it was bad. It was bad. It was like I didn't even care about myself. I wouldn't say myself necessarily, but if you just didn't have that motivation, you just didn't care. Like, you're heartbroken, you know, you're going through all this stuff. You're trying to figure out why is this happening to me? So in doing all that, just when I got out of that, I was like, you know what? I'm never going to let somebody bring me down
Mm-hmm.
that much, that badly. Not a person, not a man, like not another person have that control over me.
That's a good answer. It definitely, but it's rough when you're getting.
hmm
So do you think mental health and the arts go hand in hand? And if so, why or why not?
I think they do go hand in hand because whether you're, doesn't really matter what type of, which lane you take when you are an artist. You can be a painter, you can do music, you can be a sculptor, you can write. There's just so many different types of outlets out there when it comes to art. And I feel like when someone finds their outlet, finds what they're good at, and it is art, they release so much. They can release all that energy, and they end up creating something so beautiful. And it's something that you can express whether you're frustrated, you're angry, you're sad. But once it's created, once the product is there, like the final product of what they're trying to create, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I always encourage people to find something they really like to do. Even, oh girl, you stink. even even if it is art, or even if it isn't art, but something that they can get lost in and kind of like forget reality for a second and just put all that energy into it. And you'd be surprised at what somebody can create. You have something to say too?
It's so cute.
You gotta change this diaper soon. Child. That's right. A. A is for. A is for. You stinky. Ew. Can you give mommy kisses? No. Ooh, girl. You smell like a sewage.
Mommy. So how has art helped you during a dark time and period?
Kind of going off of what I was just talking about, it's helped me to get out my true feelings and to create it and make it something. So when I was depressed, like I was writing, I just wrote what I felt. I would usually when I journal, even I just free write, and even doing that helps. And you sometimes, like when I go back and read it, I'm like, wow, I came up with that. That's actually really good. And I just find it interesting that it's like, how come when you're going through like some really tough times, you come up with the best material just as like a writer or as an artist? It's like, wow, I just came up with something so good because I was feeling so sad or hurt. But
Yeah.
it's helped me just to release things, really.
What contributions do you hope to make to others with your work?
Well, if I can definitely be, if I was like a millionaire, if I produced something and somebody was like, oh, you know, you're going to be a millionaire off of this, I would first do my research and figure out, you know, which organizations support whatever causes, because I'm really big on doing anything to give back to the earth, basically, because I basically am like that go green kind of person. So I would definitely donate to a foundation that wants to give back and make sure that we can beat global warming and anything that helps the animals, the land, because without it, like, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be breathing. So I feel like we owe that to the earth. So I would definitely seek out an organization like that and start my own organizations just to help my local community. So I think there should be programs for girls that are between the grades like ninth, even going to middle school, just that transitional period, like a big brother program, big sister kind of program. So just kind of putting together different outlets for the youth. And I always wanted to have my own studio, but I wanted my studio to be just where you can like hold workshops, you can do modeling, you can do like you can hold fashion shows there, you can hold concerts, you can hold shows, but it would be something for the youth where they can still hang out and do them, but at the same time you're creating music and you're doing something beautiful. You're staying out of trouble at the same time. But you got a hangout spot, you got some place to kick it, because that's something that we wanted when we were that age. So I would like to do something that's always giving back to the youth, because they're gonna be the ones taking care of us when we all old. So we gotta take care of them.
Exactly. Trying to think. I don't know. The other day when I went on live, it like kicked me out, and I'm trying to remember what the time period was, but I ain't. Um, I'll probably ask more questions. Uh, so let me see. Can you name a time when you wanted to give up and keep pushing through?
Oh yeah, this last semester that I just finished. I mean, I was taking 2 classes. To me, that's a lot. Okay.
So I
Like
work.
college courses are no joke. You got to definitely put time. You got to devote at least 3 to 4 hours per class. So I
Mm-hmm.
was taking 2 classes, and there was a time, I think, like even what I mentioned earlier, where I had an assignment that was due, and I knew I wasn't going to turn it in on time. So I ended up like I was stressing over it a little bit, because I was like, okay, I got a big project to do for this class, and I have to turn in something like that same week. So it was basically 2 big assignments that I needed to turn in. And it was just like a lot. Because after like you're taking care of your child, like you're so tired that sometimes you don't have the energy for your schoolwork. So it was just one of those things. It was one of those days where I was like, maybe I just will not turn this assignment in and just take a no grade. But something in me was like, well, let me email the professor and just see if I can get like an extension. So what she ended up doing, she ended up letting me just kind of picking like a different, like do an alternative basically. So it wasn't as much of a workload, but like the point is that she worked with me while I was stressing. I was ready to give up, but she worked with me. So that definitely was a time where I pushed I pushed myself through it instead of just giving up because I could. I was like, no, let me just do it, even if I don't get the best grade. And I had a different outcome. So
That's nice that she was willing to work with you because some teachers.
I think it's the coronavirus. I
One,
really do. Because one of my professors was like, he even said there was one assignment we had to do. He literally said, don't worry about it. You guys have other things to worry about. Just complete this other assignment. I was like, okay.
that's nice to give you like some slack and be understanding.
Moo, you stink, baby. What are you doing, back? Wait.
Look at her little tongue.
Like, who's that? Who's that? Mommy. Mommy.
She said, "Mommy." Oh my God. So I have like one more question. What has your journey as an artist been like?
It's definitely, I think it's just getting started, honestly. I've spent a lot of time just learning from others around me and just creating when I can, but I think it's definitely time, because my excuse always was I'm too tired from work, or I'm working so I don't have time to create this.
Mhm.
And now that I don't have that as an excuse anymore, I think now is time to just go all in. So I am working on quite a few different things, but my main focus right now will be Rostama's Kitchen, the products. But once I'm able to, I will be getting back into the music, and I'll keep everyone posted here and there. I'll have like promo videos and just a lot of fun stuff I'm planning.
Artists really get a lot of credit for it. Artists like really put themselves out there broke trying to chase a dream, even though
Yeah, yeah. But I say go, like, if you have the drive and the passion to do it and you know you're good, do it. I think people can tend to talk themselves out of doing something
Mhm.
more versus them just going for it. And even if you mess up or make a mistake while you're doing that, or doing basically going after your dreams, if you mess up along the way, you're going to learn what not to do for the next time. And you wouldn't have learned that if you didn't just go for it. So I always encourage people to go for their dreams. Of course, we always need doctors. We need the lawyers. We need all those things. But I think people know within themselves, within their hearts, like what they want to do with their lives. And I say, don't let
Right.
nobody talk you out of it.
Right. Was there anything you wanted to followers, like any projects, any inspiration or words that you can leave them?
Yeah, as far as a project, this song is actually featuring Marley. Yes, my daughter is musically inclined. But I
Oh,
am working on dropping a single. It's called Marley's Song, and the song was actually produced by Jay. And I took the beat from him. I took the song from him, and I said, "This is my song now." So that is going to be a part of the EP. I'll also have 2 other tracks. So pretty much a 3-song EP that I'm working on. There's not a release date yet, but definitely stay tuned and up to date with Rostama's Kitchen. And like next month, we're going to be having the shea butters, the body, the hair butters. It's going to be dropping. That's really good. Like even right now, y'all, I'm not trying to brag, but I don't have any makeup on, but I am wearing my shea butter.
I
So
know you're good.
it gives you a natural glow, and you can use it on your hair. I've been using it on Marley's hair this whole time. I've tested this on myself for about 2 years. So I feel like it is trustworthy, and this is my way of making a living right now. So I could definitely use the support. I'm planning on doing rose water, hand sanitizer, and just other fun little products.
Yeah, I like that. Do you want to where they can follow you at? Facebook, Twitter, IG, anywhere else?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna drop the name here, Rostama's Kitchen, just for you guys. And my personal page is rasta.ma_. That's my personal page, but you can stay up to date with Rostama's Kitchen. Just with when I release my products.
Okay. Maybe I was just writing down something so I didn't forget because I totally lost it. Maybe when your key is completely back and you can share it with and we can interview you and so you can let people know like your process and
Yeah,
how you
I
came
would
up with
love to do that. I mean, I just hope I could relate to other people, like just other people be like, oh yeah, I feel her. Like I be going through that too. So
everyone's pain is like similar on some level. Everyone we just don't really talk about it and it's not like uh public, I guess you could say.
hmm
Hmm. I think this is about it. If there's anything else you want to say, I'm pretty much good.
Do you
I
have anything you want to say, Marley?
like who is this lady staring at me?
Mumu, did you want to change your diaper so we could do bath time? No. No.
She said no with a quickness.
She told me no. No? Why don't you want to take a bath? You stink. Ew. Ew. You
She said,
having the time of your life right now, aren't you? Doing whatever behind me. She's doing something behind me.
she internet famous now.
Hmm.
I said she internet
I
famous
know.
now.
Oh, Marley has her. Well, it's not her page because I am not making her own page. But
Yeah.
I do have a page called it's Marley's Closet Thrift Shop, and basically I do clothes donations. So Marley's clothes that she outgrew that she can't fit anymore, I put that on that page, and I can take orders or just take anyone that needs anything for like a baby girl, toddler. I'm giving it out for free, basically. I'll take donations, of course, especially if I have to travel and things like that to deliver the clothes. So I do accept donations, but it's really a donations page. And even toys, like I'm doing toys, anything that anybody else can use that I can't use anymore.
Hmm. That's really good. I'll ask you one more question. What like gives you your entrepreneurial spirit?
I think I get it from my daddy. Because my father works for himself. And the other day we were talking and he was telling me how he's similar with like me. He doesn't stick around with corporations. It just never could work out for him, and then he ended up being a contractor, and he just basically does house maintenance, like painting and just everything dealing with the house. He does it. But he's always, ever since I've known my father, of course, since birth, he's worked for himself. And I think I get that from him because it's just like in my soul, I just, every time I step foot in the office to go to work, it's just, it never, that feeling of like being excited to go to work, it never lasts long for me in those types of settings. But I will say shout out to Fairland. That is my first job, and it's still my part-time job. We just can't work right now, but I still teach swim lessons there. That job has always been good to me. I will say that. And I guess it's a job that gives back to the community, and I feel like I belong there. But other jobs that I've had, I personally just have felt like that anxiety feeling, like I'm not feeling this, like. And it's not because I get a job and I just want to quit, but it's just more so like I'm not happy doing this. So why not do something that's making me money, making me successful, but something that I enjoy doing?
I guess people say not leaving a job without having something lined up, but sometimes you just can't take it, and it's a buildup.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a
Yeah.
over time thing. I mean, you come to realize eventually,
Hmm.
like you don't want to be those people slouching. Okay,
Yeah,
have a good
literally.
night.
30 years and be miserable. Yay. Like, that doesn't serve me.
No, not in our generation. Our generation is just not standing for that.
No, they're really not. And it makes me upset. I think, like, I also feel my blackness tested in corporations because I feel like it's towards white men, and I don't really want to say that, but like, it's the truth. But there's never really any opportunities for women of color or just people of color to really climb. And when they do, there's always a catch, or
Mm,
there's a hurdle or something that, some wall or something that like makes it, harder. And then like you feel like you're never gonna climb. You feel like you're still stuck at the bottom of the barrel.
yeah,
Feel all the time. And I'm like, why do I feel like this? And I try to like pretend to be happy. I'm like, how are these people happy doing the same thing day in and day, following their dreams? That I'm like, is something wrong with me? Am I too like awake, big of a dreamer? Too, uh, hopeful? Am I too like ambitious? Maybe down. I'm like, I'm not about to tone myself down for.
no, sir, and I agree with that. And I've seen situations like that in companies. Even I've experienced it first-handedly.
Me too.
Even being a loyal employee, just loyal, like as far as you do what you are supposed to be doing while you're at work. You're not sitting here cheating the system, staying clocked in an extra minute late. Like you do what you got to do, clock in, clock out, go home. They
Yep.
still give you problems.
Mm.
They still give you problems as if you're the problem,
Yeah.
and situations like that. I just can't. I
Feel my
cannot.
making myself small to accommodate white people, and I'm like, I'm tired of doing that.
Exactly.
It's hard.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh my
Or
god.
just biting your tongue and just tiptoeing around like issues that shouldn't be tiptoed around. Like we
But
are tired. This relates even to the protests that are going on right now. I mean, at the same time, I understand, like, all right, you can't really beat war with war, but people are angry,
yeah,
people are upset, people are provoked. And I mean, I can't really stand on the side and say that they're not supposed to be doing this. I can't really say you're not supposed to be angry and you're not supposed to be breaking shit, because the point is they're trying to get the attention of the government and whoever's in charge, but they're trying to get the attention of somebody so they can get justice, so we can stop having these police officers kill people. That's the point. And the point is that they haven't stopped killing people. So people aren't going to let up until something happens. It's only going to get worse. People are going to get angrier. The more, if it happens again, it's the same. It's going to happen again eventually. I just feel like, what is it that needs to happen for there to actually be some kind of change? because it always seems to come back to color, and I think it's so silly.
It is. It's such a small thing to beef with.
I think it's so silly. I think it's really silly. Um, I mean, I can say that in this area, like PG Laurel side, we don't have. I've never really experienced like direct racism by an officer, and we do have like a diverse system here. I've seen like all different types of police officers, all different races and cultures. Are you saying that I'm boring? She's over here going.
Has a personality.
Anyways, Marley, I'm talking about history here. I know it's not very entertaining. Lost my train of thought.
That's okay. Well, I'm coming on here. I want to interview you again. Your products are out so we can promote you, and I can add, you stuff and direct people to you. I know a lot of people are going like, entrepreneurs, especially now, because work.
I mean, I feel like we always have a need for something, and if you can help your neighbor, why not? Like, girl, the next thing I'm about to do is start growing my own vegetables. Watch.
Really bad, but I'm like, I live in an apartment, so I don't see how that's going.
Yeah. Well, you have to do it indoors, but that might attract bugs.
Yeah. Really clean. I'm gonna keep it that way.
That's so good. I like your painting in the
Oh,
background.
girl, I got this from like.
You need to change your diaper? No. She do. I don't know why you talking to me smelling like that. Say I love you. Oh. I love you too, Stinky. This is my best friend. Like, I don't need to go out to the club with my girls. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get off, and you guys have a good night. And I'll probably. But thank you for coming, and thank you for giving your time. I know you're a mom and you're very busy, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's bath time. I enjoyed it. It's been real, y'all.
It has been. We about to go tonight.
Bye.
This.